So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Yep. It is the 420 radio show. I'm pushing buttons, and there goes the audio, and we're here. Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Hi.
So, we're here talking with a young lady named Tabatha. Hi, Tabatha.
Hi.
And Tabatha is a peer support worker. Can you explain what that means, please, Tabatha?
Well, peer support is we're doing peer support, actually. Anyone just kind of sitting around supporting each other on things that are going on in their life, whether it be a mental illness or a physical illness.
That was very
Being able to talk to somebody that knows how you're feeling or, things like that really helps.
I heard Tabatha speaking at the... What was it called again, Marcel?
That was the Medical Cannabis Conference in Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was talking in the afternoon session as part of the Brain Health Matters.
That's right. And unfortunately, that's where we dropped off and lost our internet. And you were in mid-talk, and I was in mid-tier.
Don't lie. You got high and hit the wrong button.
And,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, sure. And
actually, no. The problem was actually on our end.
Yeah, it was. It was all Marcel's fault. Yeah, he tripped over the cord.
It was actually Chris's fault, but we'll blame Tabatha because she was the one standing closest to the computer when it happened. So
okay, so if you wouldn't mind, Tabatha, if you could just an abridged version of what you were talking about, explain maybe who you are and why you are and all that.
Well, I'm a mom of 3. And I have had, a few things happen in my life. I was sexually assaulted by my grandfather and uncle and brother-in-law. I've failed at 2 marriages, and I really, really gained a lot of weight after I got sick. And since 2011, I've lost 180 pounds. I started using cannabis and got control of my pain. Suicide was something that, was thought about quite often, but it's not, it's always going to be there. I am trained in assist, which is applied suicide.
That means we lost Tabatha.
We lost being on the air.
No, I'm here.
He's back.
So go ahead, Tabatha. Sorry, we just popped back in there.
Okay. So just because I'm trained in being able to help other people that are thinking of suicide doesn't mean that I don't think about it. It's something dealing with a mental illness and depression, PTSD, is a battle every day. Just recently, the past couple of days, I've been having a really rough go of it. I don't know if it's the weather, could be all kinds of things, stress.
The moon?
I was going to say.
Moon.
I was going to say.
Yeah, and believe it or not, we have another one the 31st of July.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. So the moon phases, we're finding they affect all kinds of us in really bad ways. Kids with epilepsy, people with autoimmune issues, people with anxiety and stress and depression. All of us are affected by that.
I'm affected by it with my ADHD. I get it bad, the moon cycles, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of people think that it's funny, but when you work with people that have mental illness, you can tell that, there's maybe a full moon coming. Someone's not acting quite right.
I hide.
The moons each have a name. Like the full moons each have a name, and each one is responsible for something else. And it goes right back to the natives noticing the impact that the moon actually has on nature and humans.
Yeah.
So this last full moon was called the buck moon.
A what moon?
The buck moon.
Oh, okay.
And it's the moon that all of the male deer start to grow their antlers.
And that was last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing buck moon.
Yes, it was a beautiful moon, but that moon has a lot of effect on mental illness, and basically everybody it gets affected by the moon. Mm-hmm. You notice it or realize it.
Yeah.
I try and forget it.
Figure we are 90% water, and it does have a gravitational pull, so it's going to mess with it.
Yeah. I found myself be extremely irritable with this moon.
That's the conversation I've been having with a lot of the moms with kids with intractable epilepsy, is the way the moon phases affect people, and like we are all bioelectric mechanisms, which are mostly water, and magnetism affects all that stuff. So it only makes sense that it would throw us off, right?
Well, yeah, the energy alone would kind of, it makes me kind of kooky. Yeah.
And when you have someone that's getting negative energy, they're throwing that negative energy off, and someone that has a mental illness feeds off of other people's energy. When you're sucking in someone's negative energy, it just pulls you down even further and further.
Well, that's, one of the reasons I wanted you here, because you were saying a lot of things that are very familiar to me, myself and I. And to hear somebody say stuff that you've been thinking or saying yourself for many years, it kind of makes you go, wait a second,
Yeah.
And
it's that safety in numbers thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why group meetings and stuff like that work well. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
It's very cathartic. Sorry?
It was peer support that saved my life.
Right.
When I walked in to that place that I had volunteered for quite some time, and because of my ex-husband and his behavior, I was, told, okay, you can't work here anymore. So I was then left with nothing, no one. So then the day I left my house, the plan was I was going to kill myself. And I went to the hospital to have my blood work done, and I met up with an old client. And he said, we miss you. Drop in and say hi. And I thought, okay, maybe I can follow through on my plan later. If I wouldn't have walked through that door, and as soon as she looked at me, she knew. If she wouldn't have she took me in her arms and said everything's okay. If I wouldn't have went there, that's peer support right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It takes a special kind of person to do that.
It does.
Because it's a lot of energy to... I find that being a supportive person it takes a lot of my own energy. Because when I see somebody who's sad, not feeling well, I want them to feel better, so I will allow them to take from me when I'm not using. But it can be very draining.
Oh, very. Yeah. I've sat at the hospital with clients that have had, because of their mental illness, they're treated differently and put in a room and basically kind of shut the door, and maybe a security guard Well, when you have a mental illness and you're already anxious and you're at the hospital seeking help and you're put in a room with security outside the door, they expect your anxiety to stay low? That makes it worse. I've literally gone on my own time and sat with people to keep them company because they felt so alone. Or they just would have walked out.
Yeah.
And not got the help.
Do you find that helping others helps you?
Oh yes, for sure.
That's one of the reasons why I started doing the show, was because I needed an outlet, and I was going through a rough thing. Lost my house, lost my girl, blah 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 blah, and I needed to keep my head going. So I started doing this and brought people into my head like this, and that's kind of my therapy, doing this every week, because I can have people like yourself on and stuff like that. So
yeah, oh, definitely being with others and helping others always.
Except for Marcel, he's a bit of a prick.
Well, I don't know. I was in the military. I have a different attitude.
Yeah. Always an excuse. Speaking of excuses, Ellen won't be with us tonight because she's not feeling well. You want to tell us what happened there, Marcel?
She decided to eat raw hamburger.
I wish
a longer story than that, damn it.
I wish I had a Wimpy's sound clip or something.
She decided to eat some raw hamburger, and now she's trying to see if medicating with cannabis will help cure E. coli poisoning a little faster, I think.
Oh, you're being so nice.
I am being nice. I didn't say that she's spending the evening in the bathroom or anything like that. That would be embarrassing.
Well, she's not here.
She isn't here.
No.
But she is probably listening, and she's...
Probably. We promised her we wouldn't talk
probably going to be a little hanky.
Here comes the Facebook message anytime. Man.
Yeah, or she's going to pop in here. You'll hear a blow ding.
I expect her to be coming into the chat room to rip the strip.
Yep.
Do you know I grew up watching my father eat raw hamburger every single time they came home from getting the groceries, because we had a turtle that he fed it to. And he used to package it up in little bits and for the turtle, and it'd be like a package for the turtle and then a big lump for him.
Turtle, yeah.
I guess we didn't used to have to worry about stuff like that then.
Hey, you know what? I
had an ex-sister-in-law that used to do that, though. She'd be making hamburgers up, and she'd be eating the raw hamburger. She was mixing it up.
I just looked in the chat room and saw somebody I haven't seen there for a while. Hi, Robin.
Yeah, I think I remember she just opened some kind of a... I thought she'd seen a post where she was opening some kind of edible place there, now that it's legal where she was at.
Yeah, something like that. Fix your mic, buddy. You're really garbled. So I want people to come in the chat room. Lifestyleradio.net. Ask your questions. Tell us to fuck off. Whatever. We're chatting with Tabatha Ward, who is a peer support worker, and what you basically specialize. Yeah. In cannabis therapy. Is that it, or?
I don't really specialize in it. I use it for myself.
Okay. So that reflects on your support.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I support people that don't use it too. Not everyone can use it.
Do you have a hard time finding strains that are going to work for individuals, being that cannabis is so identifiable to each different person? You know,
I'm not really familiar with a lot of that stuff. Okay. I don't even have a designated grower anymore. So I'm just kind of under the ground, under the closet, whatever you call it, getting what I can, strand or whatever.
You belong to an organization that has a very good court support initiative, so you don't really have to worry about anything.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
There's my commercial for Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get busted, we'll come help you.
Into the vein of peer support, that's exactly what Mom and we... And
I'm going to clip that out of there, and I'm going to run that as a commercial for Mom, Marcel. I'm going to clip it out of there and do that. Yep.
Yeah, that's
the court support initiative has been working excellent that Mom's been doing. So
That's awesome.
So people like Tabatha can still medicate and not have to worry.
Do you not have to worry
True.
about what strain you're using or anything, Tabatha?
I don't right now, no.
Okay.
What
See,
what do you find is better for your condition, smoking or ingestion?
Mostly ingesting.
All right.
But
Okay.
I do smoke quite a bit too.
See,
Okay,
I find I have to, I have full-blown severe ADHD. I'm on disability for it. I mean, I hide in my apartment because of it. People have a hard time being around me for a long time because of it. You know, the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
So, what I have found is that I have to be careful with my strains because I go into the dispensary and I actually look at the thing and I say, okay, this is what this does. This is what that person that reviewed it says it does. Doesn't mean that's going to do it for me. I've had strains that put me into a panic attack. So with all that's going on with mental illness being in the limelight, with referring to cannabis and all that, with PTSD, I think people need to know also that it is that strain specific, that you can pick and choose different strains. They're going to make you feel different ways, right, Marcel? Obviously,
Oh, yes.
Marcel can explain how it works
That's
more.
the kind of experiment I need to be in on, testing the different kinds of strands, because I only go with what's given to me.
I'm usually getting what I call the guy down the road. But when I do go to a dispensary, or I do know exactly where it came from, and I know what I'm smoking. Like right now, I'm smoking a sativa. It's a sativa, and I like sativas. Although Marcel doesn't like me having sativas because I talk too much. But
It's not that you talk too much; it's your ADD kicks in on overdrive. So, like you're seeing butterflies, squirrels, and tree branches all at the same friggin' time.
But that's what I'm getting at, because this sativa right here, I know who grew it, I know where it came from, I know how it was grown, yada yada yada, and I like the way it makes me feel. I'm able to concentrate. I'm able to sit here and do the show and not go, ooh, butterfly. And I'm fully aware what I'm doing, and I'm concentrating. Okay, and that's, but you aren't always able to get that. Okay, you can get the same strain all the time and get the same effect, but it's going to waver a little bit, right? Somebody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Consistency is very
Sorry, I was
difficult.
involved in the chat, man.
Consistency is very difficult, and one thing I'll say to Tabitha's comment about needing to try all different things, that's one of the reasons why we support a registered dispensary level in whatever kind of framework we end up with here in Canada, because speaking personally, if I hadn't had access to a dispensary when I needed it, I know I wouldn't be here now. The stuff on the street, although it would probably work for maintenance now, to get off the drugs I was on, I had to have good, high quality. I went for the heaviest indicas I could find to get off all those narcotics.
Yeah.
But it was the opportunity to be able to go in and try a gram of this or a gram of that, or, oh look, this one works really good at this time of day, so I'll get more of that one. And the supply was consistent enough that it was coming from the same people all the time, and if you got the same strain, it usually worked the same way.
Well, I know that for me, I like the CBDs. I like them, and I don't like that couch potato feeling, because that's how I feel when I'm depressed.
I rarely feel like that. Yeah, unless the depression's kicked in and I haven't done enough cannabis.
That's usually why I get that feeling of being depressed. So when I'm in when I have cannabis and I want to, be productive in life, I don't want to be on the couch drooling and watching, The Simpsons or whatever for hours and hours and hours. I can do that when I don't have cannabis. You know what I mean?
Well, that's another thing I think that's so important for strain selection, particularly when you're addressing a number of different conditions. It is very important. Even when I was going to a dispensary or when I had a grower, And my exemption at that time was 5 ounces a month, and it was like, okay, so I want 3 ounces of Jean-Guy because that was my go-to.
I like Jean-Guy.
1 ounce of mango bubble gum, or no, it was blueberry hash plant I liked, and 1 ounce of heavy indica to go to bed at night.
Yeah.
Because when I was up during the day and working, the Jean-Guy allowed my brain to just go like mad, and my symptoms were under control.
Have you found a strain that you know the exact strain, Tabatha, that works for you? Have you gone that far yet?
I don't really know exactly what strand I'm using right now, but what I'm using right now does work for most of what I need it for. I have not been able to find something that completely gets me my full night's sleep.
Yeah. I find that when I have something that is not so good, but it's working okay, I'll double up on it, I'll triple on it, I'll way overdose on it, and then I get the desired effect that I need. But then in the other side, if I got something that's really, really heavy, and I don't want to be a couch potato that day, I'll put it down.
Yeah.
You know, a couple puffs, put it down. Or I'll vape it, or I'll eat it, you know, or whatever.
I'm one of these patients that I got my permit in 2011 and got a designated grower and thought that everything was good. The grower had sent me my first 3 months supply, which was okay, but moldy. I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. The next shipment that he gave me 6 months later was another moldy bunch with my license, and I've never heard from him since. So I unfortunately take what is given to me.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what you have to do if you want to just go about your life and not make a stink.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And particularly, unfortunately,
that is better than taking the morphine.
Licenses are like that today.
What was that, Laurie? You're really low tonight.
Oh, I said particularly, unfortunately, is the fact that I believe the majority of Canadians who have had legal licenses up till this point are in the same boat as Tabatha now.
Yeah, and I'm finding more and more and more and more that less people know about strain selection, and they're just they're using what's been suggested even at the dispensary level.
Yeah. I wouldn't know what to do if I walked into a dispensary.
Well, I was scared shitless the first time I walked into
store.
Yeah, I was scared when I first walked into a dispensary. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I had to look behind my back for a door coming open. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I kind of have to take what I get. And sometimes it works for me. Sometimes it makes my symptoms worse, you know. And you just kind of, and I'm finding more and more and more that that's the norm. That's what people are doing. They're not worrying about the strain that they're smoking. They're adapting to what they have.
Yeah, I find the more I ingest, the better I feel.
I think that's one of the keys to what you were saying about sleeping all night is the ingestion, because the slow release of the cannabinoids, exactly. If you're going to try to get a 6 or 8 hour chunk of sleep at a time, that's definitely has to be the way to go.
And use indica.
What?
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Marcel, are you still there?
Wait.
He's talking in the chat room. He's playing.
I'm multitasking. I'm in conversation in the chat room.
Bong.
Oh,
playing
good.
with his new bong.
There's somebody in the chat room. That's awesome.
He's playing with his new
there's
bong.
a bunch of us in the chat room.
Excellent. Good.
Actually, we've got both coasts. We've got somebody from PEI and somebody from out in BC, I think.
Robin's out in Oregon.
Oregon. I knew it was West Coast because it said that it was coming up to 420 for them.
Oh,
Happy
cool,
420.
Yeah. Happy 420 on the West Coast.
Yeah, man. So how about we listen to some Sensi Rock, and we'll come back and we'll continue our conversation with peer support worker Tabatha Ward. And obviously we're going to continue our talk about cannabis. On the 420 Radio Show. Come in the chat room. itsyourlifestyleradio.net, and we shall be right back.
One in,
yeah.
One in. You don't swap me yarning. Since you rock and ranking, bliss it till morning. Do it, Charles. I read herbalist about ya.
Yeah, me love me marijuana. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Because me love me sesame. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Me love me I. Marijuana favor.
Right.
Marijuana favor. Love me marijuana. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor.
Yeah, me sit down and me roll it in a slap on me lap. Baby, baby, smoke make your eye them job. Place me a place, so you know me not go stop. You ganja man, and me not take no gap. You dealing with the herbalist. You the real specialist who have no ganja na in palace. Don't reach out back, sensitivity where you give me a shot.
Yeah, me love me marijuana. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Because me love me sesame. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Me love me I. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Love me marijuana. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. And it's the Eden, not the nation, not what people might say. Ganja in the morning, smoking ganja all day. Some drink, some stress, but me not roll that way.
I quickly sense me love, we no deal with no play.
When me burn up this spliff, it make my eye turn red. Yeah, me feel alright, me shake me red. I do it over coke, and that me promote. As some me tell the youth, well me not the panjo. Yeah, me love me marijuana. Sensamina favor. Because me love me sesame. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Me love me I. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Love me marijuana. Marijuana favor. It a favor.
Yes, baby, light up me chalice, yes, me feel alright.
Lift up me meditation, reaching a higher heights.
Me nah understand why marijuana them a fight.
Healing and the nation right. Chop, Patsy give me the weeds. Make me roll a spliff where fat like a bima.
Then see a feel easy no man that want the super flower.
Ganja every day, come me blessed with the power.
Me higher than the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, me marijuana. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Because me love me sesame. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Me love me I. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Chad. Sensamina favor. Sensamina favor. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor. Marijuana favor.
Across the road got a chunk given to them because their property wasn't big enough to sell it.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it used to be the railway, the New York Railway. It was built by the end of the 1890s. It stopped at the end of the driveway, and then they ripped the tracks out in the 50s. So the rail bed's still there. Bell Telephone owns it, and they have fiber optics under there.
And you just told everybody that because we're live.
Oh, cool.
And we'll
There's
continue.
Bell fiber optic running on my property line. 1,200 feet of it, and for 12 years I haven't had wired fiber.
Wired fiber.
Yeah, I look at the line every day. There's a pad on my property line, but I have no wire to hook up to the internet. I have to do so wirelessly.
Really?
They won't install a line for you.
There's no company who's come this far into the boonies yet.
But you got fiber optics running right through your property.
Oh, right along my whole 1,200 feet of my property line for the last 12 years, yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure we can find an IT guy up there somewhere.
My ex used to lay this shit.
So this is the 420 radio show. We're bitching about Bell. And
I don't deal with Bell, so I don't. Well, no, I don't deal with Bell at all, so I don't word bitch about them.
No, I haven't for years.
We're chatting with Tabatha Ward, and of course Marcel and Laurie and Brian
And Ellen.
Yeah, where?
Ellen ain't here.
She's here in spirit.
Yes, Ellen's always here in spirit.
Um,
So, if I could just make a point, Tabatha, when we were broadcasting the event there, Al's not the only one that was getting emotional listening to you. I was just blown away when you were talking about your list of conditions and list of medications.
Yeah.
That's just congratulations for still being here, lady.
I went and had my drugstore print off a copy of my medications from the time I was diagnosed with diabetes and my Crohn's and all the medications, so everything from then until now, and it cost the government $99,000 to cover my medications for the whole time that I've been. But from 2011, I slowly was able to start getting rid of almost all of my medications and only taking a few now.
So you've weaned yourself off most of what you were on before and replaced it with just cannabis.
Yeah, I've gone off of all narcotics, the morphine, the Casemat, that was a joke. Anything and everything for pain that they could give me, I've gone off of. I very, very seldom will have to take morphine for the pain.
Wow.
That's excellent.
I use I have diabetes, and we already discussed the ADHD, depression, and a mood disorder, and I'm sure a host of other things. And I have lost about 250 pounds in the last 5 years, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, I was up over 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm down to about between 280 and 320, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I mean, it took me 20 years to gain it. I figured it 20 years to lose it is all right.
Yeah, that's right.
It's different to be able to bend over.
It is. Yeah. I remember one time I was going into the mall with my daughter and my son, and my shoe was untied.
Yeah.
And my daughter had said, "Oh, Mom, your shoe's untied." And I just wasn't thinking. I just stopped and bent over and tied my shoe.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she's like, "Hey, Mom, you're doing it yourself."
Yeah.
And it's those little things that you forget that it's like, wow, I did it.
I went from a 63 down to a 42. I'm at a 48.50 now.
Yeah.
I went over it took a lot of work. I tried to go back on Ritalin, that didn't work. I went on a fat blocker, that worked for about a year, but I became agoraphobic because of it, because, I'm going to go out, I'm going to enjoy the day, and I'm going to shit myself, something like that. Because that's a fat blocker, eh? It just flushes everything out of you.
Gross.
And I started using cannabis as a medicine, we'll say 10 years ago. But at 16, my doctor said, "Are you using pot?" No. Okay, but if you do, don't use the Ritalin anymore. I'm 51 now, and at the prime of my life. No, okay, I'll stop now. PTSD is in the limelight because of our vets, and I say our vets because we have vets too up here in Canada. But PTSD is not just about being in the military. There's lots of other things that cause that. Having mental illness, i.e., ADHD or chronic depression or a lot of pain can cause a lot of problems in your head.
For sure, yeah.
They know that cannabis will help that. I know that it will help that. What we're trying to do here is tell people that they should know that it does that, right?
I think a lot of the depression that comes with poverty can also be alleviated, particularly if you are able to care for yourself and have the ability to grow your own medicine. I can say for myself, the fact I don't need anybody to support my illness.
Hence why she's alone. And you can email Lori at ineedadate.com.
What I mean is that the ability to not have to, like, I understand that a lot of people need I'm all for somebody picking up the tab for everybody that needs cannabis to be able to have it, whether they can afford it or not. Big time.
Yeah.
Because that, just not having to worry about that, who has to worry, am I going to be able to get my OxyContins this week once you put on them?
Yeah, but now, my
Never
worry...
a question. If you got a toonie in your pocket, you're walking out with 2 weeks' worth of pills in a little brown bag.
Yeah, but now my pills are covered. My worry is am I going to have enough cannabis to get me through the month? Right. But then that's doubled because you get about halfway through what you've got and you realize, oh, you've got only this much left. So then you cut back. You don't get your full intake. And you worry about when you're running out.
Well, and you guys made a good point earlier, too, that I think one of the things, too, that is specific to cannabis therapy as opposed to pharmaceuticals is the pharmaceutical therapy is a one-size-fits-all thing. And if you're diagnosed with something and you're a certain weight and you have a certain level of symptom, you're given this, right? And you have to take it 3 times a day, every day, all the days of the week, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
And some days you're not as bad as others.
Yep.
Except that you're on the pharmaceuticals, so now you're like that all the time.
Well, I take metformin in the morning. I take a Sesamet if I don't have any cannabis because that's a synthetic THC and I refuse to take opiates. I have my Lipitor. Yes, you can say what you want. Yes, I get pain from it. I'm up to 6 pills a day. But if I don't have, if I have cannabis, then it's 4 pills a day.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm finding. The more people have access to cannabis, the less need they have of all these pharmaceuticals. And Marcel made a good point earlier when we were chatting. Not just pharmaceuticals, but over-the-counter medicine.
Hey, that's just like me. I got an entire bottle of hydrocodone here. I ain't touched one since I got this bag. Really?
Perfect example. There you go.
Wait, you just got the bag, dude.
Yeah, but I ain't
we were there.
Yeah, we were there. What was his name? Bob or something like that? Anyways,
when I took the trial, or I did a trial of the Remicade years ago.
Never heard of that.
And it was medication for Crohn's disease.
Okay.
And it was a type of a steroid, so it was to replace the prednisone because the prednisone had caused me to gain 150 pounds.
Yeah.
So this Remicade was given to you due to your weight. So by the time it was calculated for my weight, it cost $10,000 for one dosage of this medication.
Oh, wow.
That then had to be taken to the drugs or to the hospital and administered through IV. And because of it being such a high risk of an allergic reaction, they actually have a crash cart sitting outside the door, and they give you Benadryl before they even start the IV.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, one sec.
Honestly, the more I hear people talk, the more freaked out I get about what they do to us.
It's very scary, isn't it?
Wow. Well, that's like when Jack was explaining about his cancer and how in an effort to get his immune system boosted, they injected him with tuberculosis.
What?
Yes.
When you're given Remicade, you have to be tested for TB, as well as the Humira.
Oh, I don't like that commercial even. I don't know. I won't even talk about that. No. That commercial is like, and we can help you do this, and we can help you do this. This will happen. This might happen. This could happen. This might happen. This probably will happen. And this shouldn't happen, but it might.
Well, this is it. I have to say, if I have an itchy spot, I'm not thinking I'm going to take a chance at dying in trying to get rid of the itch.
Some of the side effects of some of the pharmaceuticals that are available out there to stop pain are worse than the pain itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
In retrospect,
you ever need anything, dude, like furniture or anything, let me know. We go to the auction sheet.
What?
Yeah, when I get to a place, I'll definitely.
Ryan, you might. Yeah. Oh shit.
Forgot to mute.
Yeah. He's talking to his drug dealer.
With the OxyContin, I have to say, I didn't realize it until I was looking at it in retrospect after I could think. But it was almost like the more they gave me, it fed the need for needing more. You know, like I was started on 20s, and it was like it seemed to assist for the first little while, and then by the time I got back in 2 weeks for a refill, I needed a higher dose. And it just went that way every 2 weeks until I was maxed out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think it ever actually relieved any pain. I think it made me think something. And then that thought went away before I went back for a refill. Do you know what I mean? It was really odd.
You know, when I used to talk about cannabis, I used to say, well, you know, cannabis, it doesn't take the problem away, it just masks it. But as I'm learning more and more and more, and as the world is learning more and more and more, we're finding that that's not exactly the case, because it does reverse some of what's gone on, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can attest to that.
So Ellen's on the little chat here, and why don't you tell her why don't you tell everybody what Ellen's got to say today there, Marcel? You're the one that's talking to her.
In there? She broke her computer.
Oh, God.
Her new computer
we're just trying to keep our other co-host who's having problems today.
She says it sounds good, so she's listening to the show.
Well, that's nice of her. That's real nice.
And so she's not mad, so I'm thinking she might have missed what we were talking about earlier.
That shows a lot of support to her teammates, you know.
Yeah, but she's trying to get into the chat room, but she broke her computer.
Oh, God.
Get a new computer and you break it. Good job, Ellen.
Good
Way
job,
to go.
Ellen. And now we're going to move on to the second half of the show.
Yeah. Where we talk about Ellen now that we know she's listening.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What do you find is the best way to take your medicine? You said you like your edibles, right?
Yeah.
Do you also do tinctures and rubs and all that as well?
I do tinctures for my migraine. If a migraine starts, I take my tincture right away, and then I'm done. I'm good, and I can keep going. Before, I would be stuck in bed for days. Wow.
I just heard my own thoughts. It's a lot of my friends say the same. Oh yeah, I get that. That happens to me, and then when I do that, it works. But I don't get why people aren't listening.
I know. Sometimes you just want to. It's like you want to take them by the head and shake them when you listen.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot has to do with the approach, and that's why I like when Marcel's speaking. He continually expresses the view that it's not cannabis killing 72,000 different things. It's cannabis making you healthy enough that your own immune system can make you healthy, right?
Yeah. You've got an imbalance somewhere in your endocannabinoid system. All you're doing is fixing that balance with enough cannabis.
Right.
So some people can get away and may only need 1 gram of cannabis a day.
Yep.
And some might not need any.
Some may need 100 grams. It just depends on what they're missing and how much of it is actually missing. And the problem is we can't test for cannabinoid deficiencies.
Why?
Yet.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they haven't even identified all of the cannabinoids on the plant.
True enough. They just found some new ones, didn't they?
Yeah. They keep finding more.
Yeah.
And more. I mean, look how much the plant's been researched. They've got over 100 cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids that all have an effect.
And every time they find a new one, somebody runs out and patents it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, they try,
Yeah.
but they can't patent it because it grows on the plant, for Christ's sakes.
Well, they have. The U.S. has.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. What are they going to do? Tell me that I can't grow the plant because it's violating their patent process?
That's because the U.S. is fucking arrogant pricks.
I grow it when I was violating all the other friggin' laws. Why would I stop?
Careful or you'll get deported, Brian.
Yeah, deport me. Send me up there with y'all. Fuck.
Yeah, send them to Canada.
I'll actually be able to get some medicine.
And there's a support system in place up here, too.
There you go.
Yeah, we can hook you up with the MFT group.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how long they put up with them, too.
So is there anything?
We do it.
It's very cool that you were able to participate in that event in Prince Edward Island there, Tabatha. You're going to be following the crew around and doing more of those, I assume?
I really hope so, yeah. I
That's
really,
not her
really
choice.
enjoyed it.
It's not her choice.
It's not her choice.
I actually think that we have a really
Tabatha came and spoke at the first Brain Health Matters event that we had in Bedford back in March. And basically, she brought everybody to tears. And when she did that, I realized that, oh yeah, she's coming out a lot now.
Well,
when she went to PEI, she didn't let me down.
Why don't you take a couple of minutes and do one of your little thingies, Tabatha, and we'll just listen. I love putting people
putting me on the spot.
Yeah, I do it to bands too. Play us a song. Play us a song.
It's not a matter of her being able to just come out and everything, because you have to listen to the whole thing, and it's a shame that we didn't get it there, but there is a recording of the one in March.
Okay.
And we know that we have all of that one.
Well,
that one in March really sucked.
And that was the first one, but no, it was friggin' awesome. It couldn't have been scripted better. You have a Brain Health Matters event going on. You have a panel of people up there talking about mental health issues such as anxiety. And who gets to have the anxiety attack? Tabatha. It was perfect.
God.
And the sad thing is the people in the audience didn't realize what was actually happening until I pointed it out. I'm an ass, but it was a perfect example of how anxiety can affect you.
Well, you helped me stop that from happening at the round table.
Yeah.
I was having some equipment issues, and I don't go out a lot, and I'm on my own, and I'm standing there watching Lori, and then she comes over and rubs my back. You knew something was up.
Right.
But
what I'm
nobody
starting
else
to realize is the more that I can recognize when somebody's having an anxiety attack, the quicker I can bring it out into the open and it actually relieves it.
Yes.
Doesn't it, Tabatha?
Yes. Yeah, you were very good at that. And Chris Backer is very good, too.
Yeah.
He was really there in Bedford, and he really helped as well. But
we know what it's like to have those attacks.
Yeah.
Right? But because we can see them and bring attention to it so that you can identify it yourself, then you can realize that, oh crap, I'm just panicking over nothing. This is all cool. Nobody really cares.
Sometimes all you really have to say is, hey dude, just kind of, or chick, whoever, just, you're getting a little worked up. But you have to choose the words, because if you don't choose the words properly, you're going to make it worse in a lot of cases. Because I know that... Well,
it's the attitude that you use. So
that's right.
For
so
me, I'm a pretty blunt kind of guy, so I'll try and interject humor into it as much as possible.
There you go. Yep.
And I find that actually kind of helps, even though it's kind of blunt.
But humor can help you.
Telling somebody to chill out doesn't help. Just so you
know. No. Jeez, no.
Or relax. Relax.
I went and got really upset with my mom last night because she called me in and I was having a meltdown. I was having one of those moments where I just wanted to curl up in the corner and cry.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, got a busy day tomorrow, and so suck it up. And I'm like, that's not what you tell somebody with depression that's having a meltdown.
Yes, it is.
And I'm like, Mom, before I yell at you more, I've got to go.
And that's what I do with my mom. I say, with my mom, sorry, Mom, it's comments.
Yeah.
Under the breath comments. The little jabs, that kind of things that Mom does.
I learned a long time ago not to have the conversation go that long with my mother.
Yeah, but I actually enjoy spending time with my mom.
I don't mind spending time with my parents, but once the conversation starts to get sideways into how I feel and things, then I end.
Yeah. I think it's
because they have no way of understanding what I've gone through and what I still. So it's easier for me just to end the conversation with them instead of getting worked up and pissed off at them.
Yeah. I mean, like she said, I said to her, I'm having a bad day, Mom. And she goes, and she could tell that I was crying, and she's like, yeah, you really are, aren't you? And it's like, no, Mom, don't be doing that. So it really hits any time. Like yesterday and today, this morning, I was I've been like an emotional wreck. Just, I've been stressing out over, all kinds of things. I've been sick. I did have a Crohn's flare up, and that, always affects my mental health every time. And once I get my Crohn's under control, my arthritis starts to act up. So in PEI, I was in the middle of a flare up, just getting on prednisone, not able to eat a thing, scared to death of the fairy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did you help her with that, Marcel?
No. I saw the pictures and the comments about after the ride, and I was thinking, holy crap, Tabatha would have probably been a little afraid of that boat ride, wouldn't she? I took the bridge, so.
Oh, see, now, if it would have been up to me, I would have took the bridge,
I've
too.
been on the ferry. It's not so bad. It's a little claustrophobic, but that's,
But then again, I was able to conquer another fear.
Yes. And
because going over, we stayed inside, but coming back, we were able to sit a little bit closer to where I could actually see.
And sometimes that's really good for the psyche. I drove from home out to see Lori and a whole bunch of other people in Peterborough, and I have not ever gone away on my own, just jumped in the car and gone. And usually I'm sitting here in the apartment. I took the station with me over and everything. And I was okay, though, because of the people that I was with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone knew that I was scared shitless. And the looks on my face when we hit a wave or whatever, they all knew that I was scared. And everyone knew they were there for me. So I couldn't have travel with a better group of people, honestly.
I want to tackle my fear of heights and jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Oh, no way.
Now, if we could get all the other people out there to get over the fear of our medicine, we'll all be good, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that, like, one of the things that I think is so cathartic about these kind of things, like our event and stuff like that, is to be able to be somewhere, go somewhere, and know at the other end of your journey you're going to be among people that accept you, that aren't, you're not going to have to make excuses or stand out by the garbage can to have your medicine, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was one of the things that, like family members and stuff, when you go to visit, oh yeah, they accept the fact that, you're way better now than you were, and that's what you do for medicine, but yeah, can you go stand in the alley by the garbage? Yeah, okay.
You, Marcel, you guys experienced something like that in PEI there, didn't you?
What's that?
You had a problem last weekend with security and medicine, didn't you?
That wasn't in PEI.
That wasn't PEI.
Oh,
that was
in Halifax.
Halifax.
Oh, okay.
Where that was just a debacle of an event. Seriously, I mean it was the multicultural festival, and they had a health and wellness pavilion that we were invited to, and to set up a booth in and to speak at. Let's just say the venue is not a really good venue to begin with. The whole idea of a health and wellness pavilion there is kind of stupid and useless, because you can't hear and do anything. But worst off is you bring an organization to your event to set up that their name is Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't going to make sure there's a place for people to...
Yeah, you need a place for them to medicate, because the people that are going to be there are patients. Well, security chased Chris Backer around. And then once he was off the property, like off of the event property in the parking lot smoking, they went and told the cops.
Yeah.
So the production company that was doing a lot of the sound equipment and stuff like that gave Chris permission to use their area. And it was great. So when we got there, we had a place on the grounds that we didn't have to go out, that we could actually still be in the grounds and medicate. And that lasted hours when the beer tent complained about the smell.
The beer tent complained?
God, no!
It was
beer tent complained?
The Moosehead beer tent set up, selling liquor, complained about the smell of pot. I mean, you couldn't get any better.
That's hilarious.
I would like to see the organizers give Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana their money back, as well as reimburse them the $30. They paid for $30 for parking. I said, why would you do that? I said, it's free parking here on the weekends. But they charged them $30 for a parking pass. And they parked in the same parking lot that we parked in for free.
Oh.
That's bad.
And they were invited there, were they not?
Yeah.
Yes. They actually sent emails asking us to put a booth there.
They must have thought y'all had money or something.
Wow.
No, because they knew that we drew people to the Health and Wellness Expo and to the 50 Plus Seniors Expo.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, the event sucked, but how did it go with patients, with people you were talking to?
Oh, they loved us. There was nobody complained at all. Everybody left happy with all of their questions answered and lots of information. There was actually a cool guy that we got to talk to, was a young guy from California. He's up for the cannabinoid investigators conference or whatever that was in Acadia University, and he stopped in and we had a nice chat about testing for cannabinoids and things like that. And he actually works for a lab company out of California. It was the event I wanted to go to, but they wanted $900.
Jesus.
Well, so you got to talk with one of the participants for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a great chat.
It amazes me how much these cannabis organizations and stuff like that want for events and stuff like that, and they know that most of us really don't have any money.
But see, this event wasn't for people like me that do the research. It was for people that own the labs, and the researching doctors that are actually doing laboratory testing and things like that. I do real testing because I test on human subjects, namely me.
Yeah.
So my data set tends to be a little more accurate than what they come up with.
What do you think about? Let's switch topics here. What is your take on the what's going on with the Supreme Court and the change about being able to use edibles? Do you think that for a lot of patients, it's going to take a lot of pressure off, Tabatha?
It's going to take a lot of pressure off of us? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a criminal anymore, are you, Tabatha?
No.
And
now, are they doing the same thing up there as they did down here in Denver, and making it so that your edibles can only be a certain amount, percentage?
They don't have any plan yet in order that we're allowed to do it. So basically, people are going to free for all.
Yeah, right now it's a free for all, but I mean, there will be.
It comes out.
Yeah, there will be.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You know there will, and you know it's going to go through the courts again.
Oh God, we're wasting so much money.
It's not done yet. I wish it was, but it's not done yet.
All they need to do is adopt the harmonized proposal and leave us the hell alone.
All they need to do is legalize it worldwide.
Well, yeah. Take it off Controlled Drug and Substance Act.
Yeah.
There's no way to legalize it worldwide because there's different countries involved, and that'll never happen.
It needs to be a commodity. Okay?
It would be a landslide if they took it off the CDSA and opened it up for industrial use as well as letting people do what they want with it.
Yeah.
But more importantly, industrial use, it would create a landslide effect around the world.
But
industrial use like they used to do back in World War II.
That's what I was going to say. They already did that, and look where we are. They already did that, Marcel.
Did what?
Allowed it to be used for industrial. I mean, at one time,
they haven't.
At one time, you had to grow a portion of your farm. You had to dedicate it to hemp.
Right.
Yeah, that was down here in the States too. Yeah.
And what?
Yes.
Prohibition, right.
Like you had
that was
to.
Before Prohibition, though.
In order to grow corn, you had to grow a portion of hemp.
Yeah, but look at how much better it was back then.
Yeah,
exactly.
Life, it was so much better.
Imagine a pair of jeans that last you 40 or 50 years.
Levi's.
Exactly. They were all made with hemp. You grab a pair of hemp or Levi jeans that were made in the 1800s. They're going to be as comfortable today as they were then.
And now they're coming back with those. I wore hemp jeans all through my teen years, I guess, because I used to go and shop at the first thrifty store in Toronto that had Lee's and Levi's, Strauss, and all those brands, right? Yeah. But when I first started going there, it was this brand or this brand. You didn't have 150 brands to choose from. You had hemp.
That's right.
You had hemp, or you had jean, or whatever. Cotton, I guess,
Denim.
right?
Yeah.
Denim is cotton, right?
So
hemp. It's a mix.
Hemp was going to put the cotton industry under,
and the paper industry,
and the paper industry, and the oil industry.
Yeah.
That's why they prohibited
and tobacco.
If they brought it back, it's still going to decimate those industries. But those industries have decimated our planet far long enough.
Yeah, they made enough money. Let's get rid of them now.
They've raped the planet enough that they've can finally give back. And I mean, most of those guys have more money than they ever spend in their lifetime.
Well, now they have a battery that's going to change the world, and it's made
I've seen that.
It's made out of hemp.
Lithium rechargeable fucking thing. That,
yeah, and it holds a charge for like weeks, and it you plug it into your charger and zip. It's
actually
charged.
it's a Tesla. It's a Tesla model.
You know, you might be right. It's wow. And Tesla even has a new battery operated car that is going to be at market prices, not like way out, $50,000-$60,000. It's it's a $13,000-$20,000 car or something like that, right?
One good thing about that battery though is if you get the right solar panel set up, you can become 100% self-sustainable from the electric car.
Well, yeah, you don't.
You get totally off the grid.
I want a vertical windmill.
I have a windmill, vertical, yeah. I was going to say windmills kill animals, man. I thought about vertical.
No, the vertical ones that don't have those big whomping blades on them.
Yes, I read a story about that.
Yeah, they're much more efficient just to go up a straight line.
They spin around the pole as opposed to up and down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen those.
Yeah, the blades spin right around the pole, so it's direct drive right down in, so you don't have to have a whole bunch of worm gear up at the top transferring energy.
I don't even think that one that I read a story about had blades.
It's kind of like it's fins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And
I have to say, when I was down in Amherst, Marcel, looking at that wind farm out there, I kept looking there. Just basic engineering leads me to believe that can't be an efficient method of getting power.
Doing the right angles isn't, because you're going to lose energy in the right angles.
Yes,
going through worm
the gearing and the friction and oh my god.
They're putting a lot of them around here.
The vertical ones make a lot less disturbance to the airflow, so it doesn't affect migratory birds or all of our bats basically disappeared as soon as they installed that farm.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. Wow.
And I mean, I can see the blades from my backyard.
Yeah, that's an ugly looking thing.
Yeah. And if they did vertical ones, they could have put in 5 times the amount that they have.
Are the last couple moving now? When I was down there, you said it was going to be 2 years till the last one was moving or something?
Yeah, all of them are moving now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still... And the worst thing is it's our eyesore, and all of the power that's generated there is sold to the U.S.
Oh, good God.
Gee, we get your power?
Yeah,
you
somebody...
You guys get a ton of our power, dude.
A friend of mine has... they went and took part in the solar program where you can get solar panels put on your property, but you'd think that you'd be able to draw off that. You have a 20-year contract, and you're paying a cheaper rate, but you're not just drawing off of those solar panels. No. The hydro company takes that power and puts it into the general population. You're paying at a lesser rate for 20 years, and then after that 20 years, you can use that. If you want to take it down, you can't use that for scrap. They get the money.
Huh.
Right? Just like those towers that they put on people's property, you have a set allotment of time that you have a contract for that. If you don't renew that contract, you have to leave it there. You can use it for whatever you want, but you can't sell it for scrap.
Wow.
So you would think that a lot of people will jump into these programs and think, oh yeah, that'd be great, man. But when it comes right down to it, you don't even get to draw off of that. They were saying when they were putting these wind farms up in the area, that people in the area, in the communities that these wind farms are in, will be able to draw off this power at a reduced rate. No, they sell it to the states.
Yeah.
Now, why do we need your power? We got plenty of fucking power down here.
Well, that's because you guys keep fucking blowing fuses and shit.
Our grid is like 200 and some fucking years old. They never upgrade it. They never do any work to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the infrastructure and shit. People are just ignoring that stuff, and they're arguing their asses off about shit that really is not important.
I know, it just creates stress.
Oh, God.
Tabatha, you're down the Valleyway, right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of wind farms down there?
There's some up in the Hants County, down Chester, Lunenburg.
Do they have them along the coast or in the fields?
In the fields.
Okay, so they haven't put them along the coast yet.
No.
Ours are, well, ours is on the border.
Yeah.
Brunswick and Nova Scotia, which is a narrow spot, so we get wind right up the Bay of Fundy over to PEI.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's where they put it there, was to get into that wind tunnel. But
that looks like a sensible place for them to be, I have to say.
But it's also
put them somewhere.
the direct path for migratory birds. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I get you. Huh.
It's all out on salt marshes where it is.
So it's 8:13. This is about the time of the show where we our minds wander.
Yeah,
I want to go back to what Tabatha's doing tomorrow.
Let's talk about Tabatha's
what is
world.
that you're doing tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow. Mud Hero.
Which is?
Mud Hero is a 6-kilometer, 16-obstacle course that I crazily challenged myself to do it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
To run it?
I'm not going to run it. I'm going to walk it. I'm going to take my time.
You have fun with that. I'll be sitting here on my couch playing video games. With Brian.
Is Paul going to go along with you on the course and videotape this for me?
No, he's not. No.
So how do we know then you
There
you were
will be
lying to us?
pictures. There will be pictures, lots of them.
Make sure they're dated, please, with newspapers.
I'll make sure I send a message to my brother, since he'll probably be there as well.
Yes.
You're going to be wearing your
10
mom shirt, are you?
Start.
Pardon me?
I'm thinking, they average about 2.5, 3 hours for an average person. So I'm going to give myself 5 hours to complete the course.
And how many Timmies are in between that on your route?
There's none.
Do you know what? I'm going to get him to stand at the first mud obstacle just for you. Because I figured once you go through one mud pit, then the rest won't matter, because you're just going to be all covered in mud anyway.
Tell him to just stand there, or no, sit there on a chair with a cold beer and a cheeseburger. Hi, Tabatha.
I'm just wondering if there's going to be, I hope there's going to be like a porta potty out there somewhere. So I don't know. It's 6 kilometers. I have Crohn's disease. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I can hear the sirens now. We'll be looking for the article in the newspaper.
I will definitely be well medicated. That's for sure.
And when you get to the finish line, and if you don't,
my goal is to get to obstacle 1 and see what happens from there.
Motel
There
6.
I looked at the obstacle course today, and it doesn't look like. I mean, they used to pay me for doing that crap.
Is it a series of events, like it's different things that you have to accomplish?
No, it's a 6-kilometer trail.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like based off of a military obstacle course.
Oh, okay.
Like a basic climbing thing or something.
So you've got walls that you have to climb. You've got instead of barbed wire, I think the rope or whatever that you've got to crawl under.
Yeah.
But through big mud pits, they've got a what looks really fun is a trench that looks like about waist deep of mud that you got to go through.
Ooh, wet t-shirt contest.
Oh, the whole thing is a wet t-shirt contest, but it's all covered in mud, so you're not going to see much.
Mud wrestling.
Mud wrestling versus obstacle course versus a wet t-shirt contest all rolled into one.
So I've just got an alert from our news lady. God, now I can't even listen to the show. So let's talk about her.
Oh, we can talk about Ellen again.
Poor Ellen.
We should put Ellen in the mud run. We should sign her up next year.
And a news alert from Ellen.
I think she's in a mud run right now.
So, Tabatha, are you going with a friend or are you going by yourself?
No, I'm gonna. It's really busy down there, and so I'm gonna have Paul drop me off in the morning, and I'm gonna hang out for the day and see what I can do. I'm doing it to show people that, I mean, patients can do things that they weren't able to do before, and I'm not gonna let the medication that I used to take that would make me so groggy and so unable to even think about trying to do something like this.
Sounds like you should go, Marcel.
I mean, I have a clear mind. Well, somewhat of a clear mind.
I don't
going into this.
We should have got you some a little bit of media exposure that you were doing this.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Because it would have actually been a really good story for one of the outlets to pick up.
And
it's a little late now.
Well, Mom gave me a T-shirt. I did take some markers last night. I do have on my T-shirt, powered by medical cannabis. So I'll make sure I have pictures taken of my T-shirt, and I'll put them on Facebook.
Perfect. But yeah, so you're just going to go by yourself, get in line, and go.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know if I could do 6 kilometers. I don't know if I would do it without being paid.
I don't know if I'd want to do it.
They used to pay me to do that crap. They called it training.
I've got a lot to prove to myself, and I think this is going to be something mentally for me.
Definitely. And physically. Whether you like it or not.
I mean, I haven't been able to train as much as I wanted to. I mean, I ended up with in May, I did a 5-kilometer walk for Schizophrenia Society. And through that, I won a month's membership to the gym. So I had figured I'll use this to start training for Mud Hero, and that will be a big goal of mine.
Right on.
And then I ended up in a flare-up. So I started training, but haven't been able to train for the past 4 weeks. So I'm hitting her hard tomorrow. That's why I'm just saying there are some obstacles that do have paths that I can see myself going around.
Jump right in.
But I think some of the mud pits look pretty fun. I'm telling you, it does look fun.
Do you have to go into the water too?
Perfect.
Yeah, there are, yeah. What started the whole thing was the 5K foam fun run that's done in August. I thought, that looks like fun. But it was so far away. Could I afford to go? No. Martok was mud run. It was much closer. Why the hell not? Let's try it. So that's why I'm doing it.
That's amazing. I know I would never be able to go 6 kilometers.
I don't know. I don't think I could either. I mean, although, you go to an event or you go to a place, where you're walking around all day, you might go pretty far.
Well,
yeah.
But I take my cane.
Yeah, and you're walking.
And you're not going through mud up to your waist.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah,
true enough.
Okay.
You got
I could see the fatigue hitting in at about the 3-kilometer mark for me.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think it's all the added stresses. Like that's what I was thinking. Going up to Parliament Hill or something like that, you have to park blocks away, and you have to climb the streets, and you have to get up there, and it's a long way.
Guys, you guys are real great cheerleaders. This lady's going on 6 kilometers tomorrow, and you're telling her, I couldn't do it.
She knows what she's in for already.
I know.
I'm just saying, holy shit, amazing, and go for it, girl.
Even attempting it is a feat.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't get the all clear until just this morning from the doctor.
I saw that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and he's even going to be there. So.
So next year you're going to do all of Canada, right?
So cool.
No, I'm not going to do all of Canada, but I may actually. Next year, I definitely would do it again, for sure.
The mud run.
And maybe even the foam 5K foam run. That looks like fun too.
I think that would be a lot easier than the 6K mud run.
Oh, it is a lot easier. I was looking on the website tonight. Maybe I should find up for the kiddie run. Because I was looking at the Mud Hero has a kids run too. So maybe I should have signed up for that one. There's only six obstacles. I'm about to attempt 16.
We should get them to do a disabled mud run.
I was just thinking
that
we
would
should
be
do
cool.
cannabis walks, for heaven's sake.
For patients to go into, I would go into a patient mud run.
You can call it the take the stink run.
Yeah.
Or follow the stink run.
I get a nice waterproof container to carry my joints in because I'd stop and have one halfway through.
No, but you just keep walking and smoking. Take
Yeah,
a big
that's
trail through the town that you're in.
Used to have one of those cool super toker things for driving a motorbike and smoking a joint.
What do you mean smoking a joint? I hear you could probably take your new rig with you.
Let me ask you a question, Marcel.
I don't know if I want to get it wet. It's so cool and it's shiny and it's pretty and it works really good.
Okay. Speaking of smoking, what is the actual deal, the dealio, the law, as far as smoking cannabis in public in Canada?
There is no law.
Okay. Do you think there's going to be?
I don't think there can.
Well, they've done it in the States. Like in Colorado, it's illegal to smoke in public.
As a patient?
Yes.
Yeah, as a patient or even in a recreational state.
You cannot smoke cannabis in public in Colorado.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
I mean, you can be like, you got to be hidden from general view.
But then they have to make it legal for people to be in public while they're on pharmaceuticals.
That's one of the reasons why they are seriously considering allowing cannabis in bars. That's one of the reasons. Because you can't drink in public. You can't smoke in public. But you can.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, wouldn't that cut down on liquor sales?
Wouldn't it?
Well, then they'd have to allow vapor lounges.
But yeah, they make them get their own bars.
I think that's.
I'm sorry, I don't enjoy being around people that drink alcohol anymore.
They have hookah lounges in your town, don't they, Brian?
Yeah, they got hookah lounges all over the place.
Okay,
then just go to a hookah lounge and throw a hunk of hash in. Nobody will know.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But use like a good hash.
All the stoners around here, they'd know.
With the share. Make new friends, dude.
Yeah, get locked up later. I'm good. Already been locked up for the plant once. I ain't doing it again.
Locked up for a plant. That's so
you gotta
sad.
move. You gotta move.
I hear lighters flicking.
Sorry.
You should move to Maine.
I lived there for 7 years. I loved it there.
I don't know why you won't go back.
He's wanted.
An ex-wife there.
Well, that's always a good reason, but you don't have to visit,
Yeah, true.
Maine's kind of a bigger state than what you'd have to see it, right?
Yeah, Maine's huge.
Maine is a big state. You could go live in the backwoods of Maine and grow your own.
And sneak up into Canada.
I was on the border of Maine, wasn't I? Down in New Brunswick?
Yeah.
It takes you 12 hours to get from one end to the other.
Yeah, I was accidentally going into Maine one day because I took the wrong turn.
See, I used to, when I lived in New Brunswick, I used to go over to Calais and stuff for lunch and things like that.
Yeah, I accidentally got to the
just to
border
give
one
something.
day.
Yeah, just to give the border guys something to do.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be moving soon. I just don't know where. I need to get out of this state.
So Maine's pretty much like New Brunswick, right? Isn't it?
Yep.
Maine, the way life should be there, so laid back that everybody smokes from 8 to 80 and they do not have a worry in the world.
And the coolest thing about Maine is they've got probably one of the best medical marijuana programs, and they get the least amount of publicity.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Right. So that's why I tell people, if you can do it, move to Maine and keep your mouth shut.
There you go. That sounds like a good plan.
All right,
it would just work for everybody.
Just make sure you're close to the border, Bri. Come close to the border, Bri.
I might.
Then you can just find a little path. I'll meet you out back in 20.
You're about the same latitude as I am, aren't you, Marcel? About 45 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're getting all geeky now. This is geek conversation time.
Yeah, I'm about halfway between the equator and the North Pole.
Welcome to the 420 Geek Show.
So halfway between the equator and the North Pole is a good place to grow cannabis, was my point.
Nerds are us.
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
There
Is
you
it?
go. Hey, almost anywhere can be a good place to grow cannabis.
That's true. Outdoors, I meant, yes.
Want to move to Uruguay?
Yeah, really. They have a lot of limits, though.
Yeah, I would just. Did you read the article about that today?
You're only allowed to have like £1 a year for medical, is that right?
Yeah, no. If I went to Uruguay, it would be to open up a business. I'd have a hell of a lot more than that.
Profiteer.
Well,
you profiteer, Marcel. Marcel's a profiteer.
It's not a profiteer. It would be a health and wellness center.
Yes. I wish you guys would stop talking in that chat room thingy because it keeps popping windows up on my frickin' computer here. It's annoying.
That's what we need to do. Start opening health and wellness centers.
What was that, Lori?
That's what we need to do. Start opening health and wellness centers.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, people how to care for themselves.
See, I already know the strain I'd be growing in Uruguay because it'll produce up to 19 pounds per plant.
Jesus.
Oh my lord!
Oh my gosh, really?
That's why I want to go to Uruguay so bad.
19 pounds per plant?
Yeah. You can do that when you get an extended growing season.
How long is their growing season?
Pretty much all year.
They don't have winter?
True, yeah.
They don't have winter?
Their average wintertime temperature is 12 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they get penguins.
And they get penguins.
Ooh, penguins. Let's go.
And penguins are just friggin' cool anyway.
We can buy a little town. We'll buy a little town because they sell towns in Uruguay.
Yeah.
And we'll buy a little town. We'll call it Marcel Land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll call it MC Pack. MC Pack Land.
We'll call it something.
Man.
We'll
call it
man. For patients to come and get better and then go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked to the envoy at the Uruguayan embassy in about a year. I should contact them again.
Find out if they'll give us a bulk package, several people at once. We'll charter a plane.
Well, the last time I talked to them, they didn't even know what the rules were.
Wow.
Yeah, they had no idea, but they were interested in businesses setting up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do any government officials know what any of the rules are anywhere where medical cannabis is? Fuck no.
Well, then their president changed, so who knows what they're bowed down to now.
It seems that they're going forth, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have to. I mean, they made it the law. So unless
they
want
could
to go
change
to
that,
the hassle of going against what the public wants and repealing it, that's not going to happen. So they'll impose stupid limits.
Yeah.
I still can't get over that 19 pounds a plant. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, but you're talking plants that are over 20 feet tall.
God.
Jesus.
Christmas trees.
There's a guy that's probably a Facebook friend of most of the people that are on the show at the moment that I actually saw a photograph of him on next to his plant that was 13 feet tall and just not too far from him.
God.
I cut back Durban poison here that was 12 feet.
Yeah.
I don't even have a 1 foot plant. I have none.
You can get 12. Well, I had to make sure those ones in that picture that ended up in that one article online there. I had to, those plants I tried very hard to keep them 8 feet. They would have gone nuts if I had have let them.
Cut all the tops off mine the other day, so I'll bush them out.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll stay under 8 feet.
Yeah, you can screen 8 feet. Anything over that gets a little difficult.
Yeah. Well, no, I have a screen roof.
Are there any other countries that are doing the same kind of thing other than Israel?
do you mean Israel?
Well, the same kind of
thing as like
program.
North Korea. North Korea, you've always been allowed to grow it.
All drugs are legal in North Korea, aren't they?
Yeah.
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 They're actually legal.
But they promote cannabis to stop people from smoking tobacco.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Huh.
It's the healthier option.
Let's see. Do I want to become a communist?
Yeah, I was just thinking. Canada, North Korea. Let me see here.
I'm not sure if there's a law against it in China for people, because it's actually one of the 50 fundamental herbs of traditional Chinese medicine, right?
Okay, and here's
but it depends on which part.
Say that again, Marcel, because you broke up.
It would depend on which part of China you're in, because China has so many different types of provinces that they all have different regulations.
Are there any countries that is it like you'll get your head chopped off if you use cannabis?
Yes.
Where?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if they're still killing death penalty for trafficking, I think is what it is.
Is it Indonesia or Malaysia or somewhere like that, right?
I think so. I'll look it up.
Where that Corey, what's her name, the Australian woman got caught with some in her luggage.
Was she killed?
They wanted to.
But they sent her home.
I'm not sure what the outcome of that one was.
No, in China, she's probably still sitting in a prison.
No, it was one of the smaller countries like Malaysia or Indonesia or somewhere.
I would love to have Billy Hayes on.
You ready for this? Here it is. The following countries still legislate or contemplate the death sentence for Afghanistan, Brunei, China, Egypt, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Laos, Malaysia, Nigeria, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Somalia, Sudan, Vietnam.
I don't believe Afghanistan's on there.
It's illegal?
They have it in there that they actually have a death sentence for cannabis offenses.
That's crazy. They grow some weird weed.
I was going to say, that's what I said. Man, they grow some good weed in Afghanistan. What the fuck is up with that? That's probably why. You can't have it. It's ours.
Now, it's whether or not they'll actually enforce it in those countries, but they have that legislation to be able to do that.
Ellen says that it's Egypt, Bali, and she's still in jail. Bali, she's in jail, is all she said.
Bali, okay, right. Yeah, I wasn't sure where it was.
There's one in Malaysia. She's to hang. She's from Thailand, carrying more than 18 kilograms of cannabis in Malaysia, and she is scheduled to hang for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Now, do you think they'll actually go through with it? At this time, and in 2015, with the world changing as it is, they're going to kill somebody? I mean, that's almost as silly as Shauna Bonda getting 30 years.
Oh, that's absurd.
How about somebody going to court for taking their clothes off and causing an earthquake?
Oh my God, I can't believe that one.
All right, you got to realize that there are some really stupid countries out there and stupid people on this planet.
You just insulted half the planet, man.
I'm sorry, if half the planet wants to proceed to be stupid, then I'm going to insult them all the time.
Whoops.
Wow.
Sorry. Now we are no longer able to be listened to in this country, this country, this country, this country.
The following countries now have us banned.
A country list I went from all of them to like 20.
Well, that just highlights what I've been talking to people about recently is the fact that, like, here in Canada, I don't know how many people are aware. I have one of our members has a friend who has actually had a Section 56 here in Canada to legally use cannabis for MS for 28 years. Okay?
Did they get better?
He's playing in the band, yeah. So, oh, there's the dog.
Cannabis scares people. It does. It scares people because of the propaganda they were fed.
It scares chips, too, because you're going to eat them.
And it scares the businesses that it's going to directly impact.
It scares the pharmaceutical company, the oil companies, tobacco companies.
Mental health is worth $80 billion a year.
And Pizza love us. And by the way, I just want to shout out to the official Pizza Pocket account on Twitter for following us. Thank you. Hi. How are you? We're hungry. Pillsbury. We need Pizza Pockets. Please.
Hey, if you need his address to send samples, email me.
There you go.
Al would be more than happy to do taste reviews for your products.
I will. I like the pizza ones.
I would, but I don't eat that stuff, so. I've grown very accustomed to the fact that if I don't make it, I don't eat it.
And make your own pizza.
I wish
make my own pizza.
that I could cook that way, but I don't have the mental capacity to be able to cook properly for myself, unfortunately. And that may sound like a cop-out, but Tabitha, that's not a cop-out, is it?
No, it's not.
No, actually, I agree with you. You have to add a lot of cannabis for me to cook.
Well,
not in the food, into me.
Why not into the food?
Well,
no, never in the food.
Why not?
So,
why? Because I also cook for a 14-year-old kid.
Oh, okay.
I want to ask Tabitha something now, since she is our guest. Can you guys shut up?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. When somebody comes to you, Tabitha, and says, I suffer from mental illness, this is my ailment, this is my other problems, yada, 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 yada. On your first meeting, when they say, I'd like to know more about cannabis, what do you say to them?
Well, I basically turn the information of Mom over to them.
Okay.
And get as much to them and get them in touch with Debbie and Chris and anyone in Marcel, everyone that can help.
Yeah. So you point them in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely.
What kind of questions do you get?
A lot of questions right now is, I mean, losing 180 pounds is huge. And a lot of people are like, they automatically think that because I smoke cannabis or use cannabis, that's how I lost the weight. It's not. It took a lot of other things and a lot of other work.
It's also a lot of mental preparation and reorienting. I had to re-educate myself and my body and my head to eat differently. For instance.
You have to reprogram yourself to do
that's the word I was looking for, reprogram. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really weird. Like, a lot of different things happened with me, and cannabis was the biggest thing. Yes, I mean, it helped me get off of my feet and out of bed.
Yes.
And moving.
Yes.
And being able to move and be around people made me feel better.
I don't think
I was worth something.
People don't realize that when you suffer from something like Crohn's or MS or just chronic pain, when there's pain involved, a lot of times that turns into a mood disorder or a chronic depression because of that pain.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's unfortunately how your body reacts to it. You know, my doctor told me that I need to try and work on my depression. If I work on my depression, my pain levels aren't going to be as high. Right? So how do I work on my depression? By smoking pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I work on mine. I use it for everything. It helps keep the flashbacks
love it.
And the nightmares.
Yeah.
It really does a lot for everything.
And they say it's addicting. Yeah.
it's not addicting. It's habit forming.
Well, okay. Well, if it's a habit to feel better, then that's fine. It's one more habit I have.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'd rather pick up a joint and smoke it than pick up a bottle of morphine and take 3 or 4 of them.
I pick my nose too. That's a habit. So everybody has their own thing and their own ways.
Do you eat it?
Anything. No. I flick. I'm a flicker.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I aim.
There's some doctor that says that it's beneficial for your health to eat it.
I've heard stories. Yeah, I've heard.
Eat your boogers. That's what he promotes. Eat your boogers.
Eat your boogers.
Primitive inoculation, yes, because you're actually getting little bits of germs all the time, ingesting them, and therefore you build up immunity.
Yeah, you build up your immune system.
I'll build up immunity some other way.
Really?
I'm going to build up my immunity. No, I'm not going to say that. Anywho, where were we?
Talking about supporting each other and how cathartic and therapeutic it is to be able to tell somebody something that has been there.
It's also that third-party thing, that person out of the loop. That professional, somebody who does this for a living, that knows what to say and knows what not to say.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, you can turn somebody around pretty quickly with the right words, but you can also kill somebody with the right words. Right?
Yep. That would be the wrong words.
It depends on who the person is.
That's true.
But it's true. No, I mean, it's the wrong words. You're right. It's I don't know.
Yes.
You need to choose your words.
It's extremely impactful to be able to, dare I say, unload and tell somebody exactly how you feel and what you go through, and knowing ahead of time that they've been there, they've experienced it. It's a lot easier to express that.
And they're not going to belittle you for it.
Well, yeah, and even if you go to physicians, okay, like, I'm sorry, like, throwing a pill at somebody, it's absurd. I remember being put on an antidepressant because I was pissed off because I was no longer able to work. Like, of course I'm depressed. I have no livelihood anymore, you moron. And, yeah, and which brings up a good point, that affects her. That's a horrible thing. I call it the couple drug. Because if part of a couple is on it, the other part of the couple better be on it, because lack of sex drive really, really needs to be a shared experience.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're not likely to remain as a couple for very long, was my point, yeah. So, it's amazing, yeah, they just treat us, they're not treating your
They're covering you,
ailment.
they're covering it up.
Right, exactly, they're covering up the symptoms and hoping you'll go away, I guess, which is absurd because you have to keep going back every 2 weeks to get something else to cover up the more symptoms. Like, it's just a never-ending cash grab, I guess, from somebody. Oh, that's one thing I was, something a little while ago triggered my memory into the data that we collected through our surveys, Marcel.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that. Through the surveys that we conducted in 2013 and 2015, we figured out average amounts that people had spent on pharmaceuticals, or had spent for them, I guess, for pharmaceutical medications prior to using cannabis, how much it cost them to use cannabis, how many times they used to go to the doctor versus now, and what an LP would cost at the amount of cannabis that they use every day. The numbers for the quantity of people that were on the MMAR program in 2013 in September when it started to phase out was staggering. What I did was I took that data and I applied it to 7 million Canadians that, according to Chronic Pain Canada, 7 million Canadians suffer with chronic pain. And we were up around, what was it, $300 billion a year?
Yep.
For pharmaceuticals, just for those 7 million people on average.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's, like, I couldn't believe it.
Yep.
Starting to catch on to why they don't want this legalized.
Yeah.
Are you doing your John Wayne impression there, Marcel?
Yep.
I get crazy thinking about the numbers that came out on the spreadsheet. I had a couple of people I sent the numbers to, and they sent me back. I was talking to them on the phone, and two of them, the first two people that saw the numbers, or three actually, said they thought I'd made a boo-boo and had to use a calculator to make sure my calculations were right. Because, yeah, it's friggin' amazing.
I remember there's times that I would walk out of the drugstore and have a grocery bag full of my meds for the month. And now I pick up one or two.
Well, I used to be on OxyContin, and I was on 280s every morning and 280s every night, and it was maxed out, and I had to go to the doctor every 2 weeks for refills because he wasn't allowed to give me more than that at a time.
Yeah. There was, times that you go to the doctor once a week. Like, I go to the doctor once a month, maybe. So I'm saving a little bit of money for the government.
Well, that's what we were figuring out, Marcel. You figured it out with your doctor, didn't you?
Yeah, my doctor and I sat down and figured it out that I'm saving taxpayers about $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
Hey,
just in medications and doctor and hospital visits and tests.
Tabitha?
Yeah.
Your mother loves you. She just emailed me.
Oh, yeah?
Seriously.
Seriously?
Yes. Your mother loves
Your mother's listening to this show.
Yes.
She heard all the nasty things that you said about her.
As is Paul.
Well, you see, this is the prime example here of peer support, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's why I'm bringing it up. Oh, and hold on. There's another one here. There's another one here from Robin. Just saying hi. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Tabitha's mom.
Yeah. Why? What do you got? Nothing better to do tonight? Jeez, come on.
Kind of screwed that up, didn't they?
Yeah. You could have gone out, Paul. Come on.
I think my youngest son is listening too. So hi, Luke.
Hi, Luke. I'm your father, Luke. Hold on, I got to do this. I have to. I'm sorry, Luke. I have to. Just a second here. Okay, you ready? I'm your father. There you go.
Luke, I'm not your father.
I'm not your father. I'm sorry, I lied. I was drinking that night. I'm sorry, man.
Do we have any critical news or events that we should
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
We had two opposite Canada Day events this week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's one that we should. Yeah.
We had an East Coast Cannabis Day that they just sat on in the park and quietly smoked their cannabis and had a great time. And then they had the West Coast Cannabis Day event where people got slammed into the ground for jaywalking and arrested for selling cannabis even though they didn't actually sell any.
And ticketed for no apparent reason, pulling up in cars along whatever street that was.
Yeah. Toronto doesn't look like they had any problems. No, it doesn't look like anybody had any problems other than what they did in Vancouver.
Toronto had one incident that I read.
Yeah?
Some guy had an altercation with the police. They said he was giving cannabis out to children, but he wasn't.
Yeah, see, that's going to be their big cop-out now is well, they were selling it to minors.
Yep.
Yeah, giving it to children or selling it to minors or whatever, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I have to say I'm really surprised that the one city who is taking a forward step of regulating dispensaries and has had that event for 19 years would have shown up in the force that they did, I guess.
Yeah.
I was shocked and dismayed, personally. Considering that is the place where it has been accepted as the norm for the longest time in the country.
Well, that's kind of they're kind of in the same boat as Amsterdam right now, when you think about it. Because I mean, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. But if they keep doing what they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
What can you do?
So y'all had Canada Day, huh? We got the 4th of July weekend this weekend.
What, Brian, you're really muffled. What?
I said y'all have Canada Day. We have 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July. So tomorrow, if any aliens come,
shoot them down with fireworks.
Shoot them down with fireworks.
And tomorrow, 4th of July, same as with Canada Day. Please think twice if you have a veteran in your neighborhood.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I read some articles about that. Yeah, you got to remember them in the bombs. You know, so.
Well, it's not just bombs, gunshots. I mean,
gunshots.
Even if you're not a war veteran, just a veteran or anywhere that's been around gunfire, you're going to jump.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to jump anyways, man.
It took me a lot of years to stop jumping.
Yeah, I did have a rough enough time during hunting season here, yeah. Oh, I get a little freaked out when I see them on the side of the trucks are pulled over on the side of the road, and when I turn to look at them as I drive by them, I'm looking down the barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what the hell? Get out of your truck and into the field if you're going after that fucking turkey, would you?
I'm disabled. I'm allowed to hunt from a vehicle.
You're not allowed to in Ontario at all.
Oh, you are here?
No, you're not allowed to in Ontario.
Here, no.
Yeah.
And my fishing license is for free.
Yeah, you have to pay. That, you know, in Ontario, if you're disabled, you can get a free fishing license, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get a free here, too.
Being over 65 or disabled, and actually in Ontario, this is the free period for 2 weeks. I think it is free fishing.
Yeah, you're fun fish.
You don't need a license?
No.
Yeah, right now from the 4th of July, starting tomorrow until I think it's the 19th, 18th.
Cool.
I believe it's a 2-week period.
Cool. More people to hit on the side of the road as I'm driving by with my hand. Pang, 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 pang.
There will be more fishermen out on the side of the road for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Also, watch out for the kids. They're off school now, so.
And they can fish free for the next 2 weeks also, yes.
Cool.
Oh, and all summer, yeah.
Cool.
So everybody will be taking their kids out fishing for the next 2 weeks. Beware, all those creek sides on the highways well, probably most of the Ontario.
No, it's just Al.
It's just me. Yeah, I don't fish. Not into it. And on that note, do what?
So I used to be, but not anymore.
Tabatha, are you speaking anywhere? Do you have any? Do you do classes? Do you offer services?
I hold a peer support group in Kempville on Tuesdays from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. And it's just a drop-in for anyone to drop in and just chit-chat and just kind of vent, talk about what's going on. We just I take cards. We've watched movies. We've talked about different subjects that's been, happening in the news, on different mental health issues, stuff like that. We try to look up and educate or send each other to different support groups or different activities that's going on in the area. So that's goes on. And on Thursdays, I do the same thing in Wolfville from 10 until noon.
Wow, you're all over the place.
Kind of keeps you busy, doesn't it?
Well, that's the best way, too.
Brian, mute your mic. You're breathing. Or stop breathing.
It's better to be.
Nah, I think that's my fan. Sorry.
Plus, whenever I can drag Tabatha out to an event to talk, because I want people to cry or something.
I just want to.
Music is part of your therapy, right?
Pardon?
It's very good therapy.
What were you going to say, Tabatha?
I don't know if my mom's still listening or not, but I just want people to know that my mom and I have a really, really good relationship, and she accepts my use of cannabis. We can joke about whatever, and she'll call me up and say, "What are you doing?" And I'll say, "Well, I'm just busting." And she just kind of gets it, and she knows. I think my dad's not so open about it, and that's okay. But my mom's always been there, and she spent time on the cancer unit with my stepdad, and actually saw what other patients were using, and that it was working for them. And I think that might have opened her mind up a bit. And to see me go from as sick as I was to being as healthy as I am now, I was going to die. I was going to be the next person to die from that family if I didn't do something. I was taking 6 insulin shots a day.
Wow.
And I show no signs of diabetes at all in my system. My mom's always been there for me, and she accepts me. I can medicate. I walk outside and go down the driveway. She knows what I'm doing.
Well, here's to your mom.
Yeah. She hasn't tried it yet?
No.
Oh, you should give her a candy. That way, seriously, and I hope your mom's listening. I honestly do. If they have something like a low dose ingested, all right, don't get them high, but give them a low dose ingested, like a candy or something like that, and they can feel what you feel. They'll realize that it's not really that bad, is it?
Oh, I don't know, buddy. I gave my mom a cookie to make her feel as I feel, and she came out of the theater going, hold me, I can't stand.
I said you give her a low dose. You don't try and over-medicate your mom, dude.
A cookie, not a whole cookie. Oh, my goodness. Your mom deserves a clap now.
Yeah.
My mom's very supportive, too. She's been putting up with my assholeness for 51 years.
Give them a low dose, it's so they can understand the kind of relief that you get. Because even your mom may be suffering from something that she doesn't even realize because she's had it for so long.
Our sabs are bombs. It's amazing that the relief some people, with bad feet or hands or older people, a lot of them will have like the rheumatoid arthritis, the bad knuckles and stuff.
Yeah.
And a bit of salve or balm, and the relief that they get when they realize that just absorbing through the skin can do that. Yeah. I've had people shocked at that.
I mean, you could give your mom a suppository, but it's kind of hard to bring up in a conversation.
Hey, Mom, bend over.
Shove this up your ass. And you'll see that it's good for you.
Come on, try it.
I'll help. I'll help.
We can go out for dinner after.
We're looking for friendly avenues of approach here, Marcel.
I mean, you couldn't get much more friendly with your mom than that.
Like something like a medicated humbug, I think, would go a lot further than.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Surprise her.
I'm going to start making really low dose candies.
You should, yeah.
For moms.
Things like rum butter and humbugs and those mints, like the old Taverner candies and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll make them really low dose for the parents, so they can get an idea of what their kid's actually using for medicine.
I gave my mom some of my butter that I made, the last batch, and she threw it out. I was so annoyed. I said, Mom, why did you do that? It was too much trouble.
I struggle to put
Butter a piece of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome on cinnamon toast, man. Oh. Yep.
I'm getting hungry now. It's 9 o'clock. And we're going to say thanks to Tabatha for being here. You're welcome anytime to come and chat with us. Sorry,
Thanks, Tabatha, for having me.
Sorry if we were unprofessional.
Oh, no, it was wonderful. I had a blast. Sorry for being so nervous.
Oh, you don't have to be nervous next time.
And I hope you have a great time tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations on getting in there. And, oh, yeah, good luck.
We wish you luck.
Can't wait to see the pictures.
Playing in the mud is always fun.
My best.
What was that?
Thank you, and I'll do my best.
Good.
Perfect.
And we'll let our listeners know if you made it next week or not. We are here every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on lifestyleradio.net. And you can catch myself and Marcel and Brian and sometimes Ellen. And sometimes Lori. And sometimes other people right here every week. So we're out of here now. We're going to listen to some Addie Lane, All for One. It's a 420 radio show. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
It was great. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That paved our history seem to be their lies and selfish greed, and selling fear was key to protect an industry, stopping anyone from questioning when all for one means all for one, no room for we in this underworld democracy where all
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.